This gray buck is heading right at us, and I'm about to lose my mind. The moment of truth was about to present itself.
It's been maybe 10 minutes. Next thing I know, Blake hits me and said, "Keller, there's another good one. Come and get your bow."
And now it's Friday the 13th. We've had nothing but bad luck. I'm hoping Ryan Keller can bring me some of the luck that he had the previous morning. I start ripping on the grunt call, snort wheezing. Bucks started coming out of the woodwork. I got one opening. I asked Keller if he's on him. He says yes, and I let it rip.
It was November 12th, cold front had came in, weather dropped probably 25 degrees. Me and buddy Ryan Keller set out to a piece of property of mine that is excellent around this time. We just had a really good feeling that something might come through there. Although it was really cold, it was really windy. So, I mean, good thing we had our safety belts on because we might have flew out.
It's the morning of November 12th. It's about 6:30 in the morning. And the conditions have changed a little bit since yesterday. We've got a strong west wind right now. It's probably, I think it gusts up to like 16, 17 is what it's calling for. It's about, I don't know, 45 degrees, you think? Compared to yesterday, what, 60?
Yeah, 65 yesterday.
65. We're in one of our best spots.
In the early part of November, historically, this is one of our better stands we have. There's been a lot of great deer either shot, or killed out of this exact tree. And as I drew back, I went to stop him, and I did like a kissing noise that I probably shouldn't have done. And it spooked him, and he actually took off. And at full draw, I was able to move the camera arm with my elbow, get it back on him. Almost a year to the day, it was the same exact scenario. This gray buck is heading right at us, and I'm about to lose my mind. It's one of the biggest deer I've ever had a shot at, and the moment of truth was about to present itself.
My first impression of this deer was, this is by far the biggest deer I've ever filmed. And all I'm trying to do is keep this deer in focus and center frame the whole time. And I know he's getting pretty close, but all I'm looking at is the viewfinder in this camera. And all of a sudden, as I'm panning to the right, the deer's coming from our left to right. And I see Blake getting pretty close out of the corner of my eye, and the next thing I know, I have the viewfinder in my face, and right above it is the deer at about 10 yards. And that's when it really hit me and how big this deer was.
Buckmen is brought to you by Mossy Oak, Double B Calls, Matthews, Vortex Optics, Summit Tree Stands, Dead Ringer, Real World Wildlife Products.
After I had made the shot, instantly I knew that it wasn't a very good shot and the possibility of finding this deer wasn't very good.
We just had a giant deer come in. And it's not like I rushed my shot. I was there, but I don't know if I had pulled a little bit to the right or something. Hit him right in the shoulder. High shoulder. 3 inches to the left, he'd been toast, been down. But, you never know, dude. You never know. I felt like he should have been done. I felt like if he was gonna die, he would have died right there.
So as he took off, you know, we're doing our interviews, we're talking, and I'm kind of down in the dumps. But on the bright side, I told Ryan Keller to bring his bow because you never know what's going to come through there. It's a time of year that any buck could come through there. They could be from miles away coming through there.
Ultimately, from the angle Blake had, being as close as that deer was, even hitting in the high shoulder, I was thinking and I was telling him that, Blake, if you just got, 8 to 10 inches of penetration in there, you got the good stuff, man. We're gonna find that deer. Next thing I know, Blake hits me and said, Keller, there's another good one, come and get your bow.
As we were sitting there talking, I looked up and coming from the same exact spot, here's this great 10-pointer. Had no idea who he was, and he was doing the same exact thing. So I got the camera, he got his bow.
So we're scrambling again to turn all the cameras on, get everything in order.
Looks pretty good to me.
And I get a pretty brief glimpse of him, and I'm looking at him, and he looks very nice. So this deer is walking, Blake's filming it, and he's getting good footage of it, but he's actually walking off to my right. So I'm trying to get underneath my safety harness because I'm facing my own tree now and get over to the other side because the deer's going the opposite direction I thought it would. All I see is feet underneath these honeysuckle bushes. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this is gonna work out perfect. I draw as he's behind the honeysuckle bushes, he steps out. I stop him, and it was a chip shot, quartering away. I saw the arrow bury right into the opposite shoulder. I knew I'd smoked him right there.
We just stuck 2 deer within 15 minutes of each other. I thought that looked like a pretty decent shot, didn't it?
Oh yeah, he's done. You heard him crack. He's done.
I can't believe this. This might be one of the best hunts I've ever been a part of. Blake sticks a giant right here. I think he's dead. I smoke him. Nice buck. Not nearly as big as Blake's.
He's done, man.
Oh my God. November 12th.
It'll be a day to remember if we can find the one. Either way, it's gonna be a good one.
Oh my God. That's awesome.
Awesome, man. Heck yeah.
Well, here's where we shot him. Wasn't a very far shot, probably 10 yards. As you've seen, it looked like I had pulled the shot to the right a little bit, hit that shoulder. So he took off up through here, and then he stopped. He stopped farther up here once he got up on top of the hill. So we're gonna ease up here, try to track him, and see if we can recover him. A little bit up here. Here's some good blood. Here. Well, guys, we've tracked him from about 350 yards and come in here to this thick, set aside anymore CRP, and we've just lost all blood completely. So, and he still never threw out the arrow, and he's went that far. I honestly don't think he will die. Hitting that shoulder like that, I don't even know. I might have caught one lung. This is hunting, and this is what happens, you know, and it happens to everybody. And if you haven't deer hunted long enough, it will happen to you eventually. Hope it don't, but more than likely it kind of does. So this is the worst part, and now we're going to go back here and try to get on Ryan's deer and see if we can't recover it. It looked like he smoked him, so at least we got one of the two. Hopefully we'll get back with you.
All right, guys, so we didn't have any luck finding Blake's, but pretty good. I think I put a pretty good shot on mine. I don't think he went far. I think we heard him crash, but shot him right here. He took off out this way. I already see blood on the ground right here where I shot him, so let's go see if we can't find him. There he is right there, about 50 yards. Awesome. Let's go get him. What a crazy morning we had this morning. You know, we didn't see a lot of deer. We had a little doe come in really before shooting light, and nothing behind her. And then, you know, I think about 7:30, Blake saw his buck, and after he shot his buck, this deer came cruising past about, what, Blake, 10 minutes later? It wasn't long. I mean, we hadn't even calmed down yet. So kind of a quick bang bang situation here. Southern Illinois, November the 12th. These bucks were cruising. This cold front that came in last night brought some storms with it. It was really warm yesterday. It's probably got the bucks up on their feet today. I'd say the next 3 or 4 days down here is going to be really, really good hunting. So we're going to get this guy tagged, get him out of here. Would have been a really, really cool story had we got a chance to, or had we found Blake's deer. But you never know, he may get another chance at him, really make the story something special. So thanks, buddy. Thanks for switching off. We both brought the bows today, not thinking we were both going to use them, hoping just one of us got to use them, and we both got to use them today. So awesome deer, awesome buck. Let's get him out of here. What do you say?
Let's do it. As we roll into the morning of November 13th, I got my best friend Ryan Keller up in the tree with me. The previous morning, he killed a good buck. I'm hoping he's going to bring a little bit of good luck my way this morning.
We're up in the big timber this morning. We got about 60 yards between us and the lake. Hopefully we're gonna catch these deer coming from big timber through these valleys. Kind of in this little gap, so with a little bit of luck, hopefully we put a good one on the ground.
Being that it was mid-November, this particular spot, it could pop at any time. Sure enough, we had a doe come through with a nice, wide 8-pointer chasing not far behind her. A little bit later, after the doe and nice 8-pointer come through, we had a stud of a 3-year-old, what we thought was a 3-year-old, come in, and he was with a doe. He was on lockdown with her. Everywhere she went, he was, and he stayed around us for a long time. We got a lot of good footage of him.
The activity for the morning's picking up. We just had a doe and a yearling come through, a nice, young, heavy 8-point chasing them, so with that, hopefully it just keeps getting better.
After the 2 8-pointers left, it calmed down. There wasn't a whole lot of activity, and like everybody says, it could be a light switch. At this time of year, anything could happen. I looked up, we happened to see a little buck coming, and as the little buck's walking our way, it's a path we know it comes by about 40, 45 yards. We look behind him and see nothing but frame coming.
What's behind him? What's behind him? Oh God, it's him. It's our 3-year-old. Dude, is he 4? Should I shoot him?
We haven't seen him on hoof. All we got's a bunch of trail cam pictures of him. And as he's coming in, I'm telling Keller, I don't think I'm gonna shoot this deer. We already talked about it. We're gonna go ahead and let him go.
I'm not shooting him. We talked about it. In our deer hunting struggles, the one deer I probably did not want to come by us just came by us. We think he's a stud 3-year-old.
There's another big buck over there. Another big buck over there.
Hold on, we got more deer coming. We're at.
Straight over here.
Okay, well get the camera ready. Oh yeah, I see him. That's that 10-pointer with them short 4s. Well, like they say, it can happen in a second. A little bitty dink come through, and behind him, we see frame. And we think, I hope he's a 3-year-old. I don't know what he is. He's got good mass.
He didn't give you a shot, did he?
I could have shot him in the two holes, about 35, 40 yards. But that was awesome.
As he got farther up into all the honeysuckle and the saddles and ridges, I got to looking at him, and this could quite possibly be the best deer I've ever killed with my bow. I told Keller, if I can call him back, I'm gonna go ahead and try to kill him.
This segment was brought to you by Summit Tree Stands. Buckmen is brought to you by Mossy Oak, Double B Calls, Matthews, Vortex Optics, Summit Tree Stands, Dead Ringer, Real World Wildlife Products.
I peek around the tree with the Vortex, and I see nothing but frame walking away. And that's when I decided I'm gonna try to get this deer back to the tree and try to get him killed. This deer's up in the honeysuckle. It's thick. It's just a sea of honeysuckle.
Yes.
I start ripping on the grunt call. Sure enough, I get his attention.
Here he comes. I'm killing him.
And as I was calling, I knew that it was a perfect situation. I had a deer to my right. I turned around, gave him a few grunts. Sure enough, he's on a string coming right to us. He's coming through, I get drawn, something pops somewhere, quiet morning. He looks straight up at us. Takes a few more steps, I got one opening. I ask Keller if he's on him. He says yes, and I let it rip.
I smoked him, Keller. I smoked him. Go down, baby. Go down. Whew. I mashed him. He was just a shake corner too, but I hit him this far behind the shoulder. I hit him right where I was aiming. There he is, there he is.
After the shot, I think that I smoked him. I even say it, oh, I smoked him. But knowing that the angle I had, the best I could have done was just center punch the liver.
Well, it's been about 6 hours since I shot that buck. It's about 2 o'clock.
We got Blake Becker here with us.
Got the bloodhound. There he is. Oh yeah, that's him. Yes. Yes.
The hit was back like we thought. It come out in the back, between the back hips, but with a little bit of time, he expired. He's just a good one. We think he's a 4-year-old. We always thought he was 3. That don't matter now. I'm very, very happy with him. We started getting these fronts, started getting cold weather in the mornings, which really kicked them off. With that, we had bucks on our feet chasing does. I got my good buddies, got my best friend Keller, my buddy Blake with me. Thanks a lot, guys. My biggest bow buck. So it was just an awesome day to be in the woods, November 13th. One I won't forget.
Well, what I learned from this week's episode is when it's hot, you got to spend as much time in a tree stand as you can and make every opportunity count. Big whitetails only move like that in the middle of November, just a few days a year. And really, even throughout the rut, you only get a few days that it's good weather, everything's right, so you gotta hunt hard. And that's exactly what Blake Becker, Dylan York, and Ryan Keller did, and they got the job done. Even though Blake didn't find his deer, maybe he'll show back up on trail camera later, you just never know, but huge success by hunting hard, hunting all day, and being ready for anything that might come by.